Yeah, welcome for our supply chain management training sessions. In this session, I'm going to explain you what are all the things we are going to get trained, what modules here, and also we are going to discuss what are the different options available here to take up that as functional consultant. Okay, and our syllabus. That's what we are going to discuss. Before that, I'll just give a brief introduction like how the application looks like, the cloud ERP product from Oracle Fusion. Okay, so this is our cloud ERP. When we are working in the real time also, we will be able to find this URL. This URL will be different from one client to another client. Through this URL only, our clients' employees are going to connect to the Oracle servers. Nothing but Oracle Cloud. Okay, so as we discussed the data centers, for example, how this cloud concept will work. So we'll find the data centers first. There will be Oracle data centers. So what is the data center? Which is having some group of computer or group of servers with cloud computing technology. Cloud computing technology. This is completely different resources, cloud computing architects. Those all are different. Okay, so there will be some supercomputers and with high configuration servers will be established in the data centers. As I said, Oracle has opened the data centers across the world in 42 countries, means 42 regions. In India, there are 2 data centers for Oracle. You can find those here. When I go for Google, let me search Oracle data centers in India. We'll find one is in Mumbai, another one is in Hyderabad. Cloud center regions and locations. Oracle launches second data center in India. When they have launched in June 30, 2020, around 2 years, more than 2 years back. Already they have data center in Mumbai. Now again they have opened in Hyderabad here. So I think it's something new. Okay, no issue. So like this in Mumbai and as well as in Hyderabad, Oracle has opened the data centers. So once the data centers are there, means servers are available, then clients will be connecting to the servers. So why Oracle has opened data centers in every country region is, for example, some clients are doing, let's say we are using Google Drive, right? We all are using the Google Drive here, and we are trying to keep our files in the servers. But we don't know where this Google servers, means Google Cloud, is available. We don't have idea. Data centers, exactly which data center my information is saved. Because we are using this free of cost. The services we are using free of cost. So generally Google will not go for respond exactly where this information is saved. If you are a paid customer, then obviously they will provide the complete details. So let's say ICICI Bank is there. What is that? They are into banking sector. They have some lakhs of customers, thousands of employees, and day to day some thousands of accounting entries in every branch. They are going to perform debits, credits. All this information they wanted to maintain in the application. So for that, earlier what happened? They used to have their own servers. That's what we call it as a on premises. Now, Oracle or any other company, or AWS or Microsoft Azure, what they are telling is, why don't you go ahead with using our servers instead of maintaining your own servers? You can connect to our servers. Then ICSA say that we are based out in India. Our complete business is in India, but your servers are located in somewhere California or New York or some Europe countries. So how we can believe that the data is safe, or any legal issues comes again, we have to come to that particular country and we need to fight regarding data privacy or any other reason. That's why what Oracle has done, every country they have opened the data centers. For India clients, okay, you can use India data centers and keep your data in India itself. Okay, like that. So that's how the cloud computers and the clients will be connecting to the server. So when the customer connect to the server, okay, clouds, there will be a tools and there will be a products. It's up to the client what tools and what products they wanted to have it. Okay. So now our client has decided to go ahead with Oracle Fusion Applications ERP. In ERP also, there are different modules, but they decided to go ahead with supply chain management, for example, supply chain management. And in supply chain management, also client has decided to use only two modules, inventory and procurement. Two modules they want to go for implement. So here client has selected first Oracle Cloud, then they have selected Oracle Fusion Applications ERP software. Again, they have selected in that supply chain management. In that again, they have selected only two modules, inventory and procurement. That's what the license they got. And they are going to implement these two modules, inventory and procurement. Like this, the client selection will happen here. It is. Okay. So when we are working in Fusion applications, connect to the application, we'll find two menus here. One is user menu. Another one is navigator. Another one is navigator. User menu will be used to perform the setups. It is just like admin. User menu will be used to perform the setups. Just like admin, we call it as FSM environment, Functional Setup Manager environment. Click on this, setup and maintenance. This environment, we call it as Functional Setup Manager. We'll do the financial setups here itself, supply chain management and order management, procurement, product management, and then we'll find public sector related modules, sales and service, student management, human capital management. Workforce are completely human capital management. So we are going to provide over here. It is all this information setups. Before that, I just wanted to know, for example, I joined in the company. My manager has given the credentials to me and he has asked me to check what are all the modules has been enabled, our offerings has been enabled for us. So once we log into the applications, go to actions, go to offerings here, we'll find that. I wanted to know that procurement module is subscribed by the client or not. Just click on the procurement. We'll come to know the status here, enabled or disabled. Generally, earlier in on-premises, we used to call it as license. Here we call it as a subscription. Here we call it as a subscription. In the cloud technology, we use the official word called subscription. There we were using the licensed in earlier. Okay. So now here we can find the documents also related tasks which we are supposed to perform for the procurement module. Product management is nothing but an inventory module. It is an inventory module which we are going to use. That we'll find. And then order management we'll find here. It's enabled or disabled over here it is. Product management, order management, procurement, supply chain management. This is all we can find. Okay. So same thing here, whatever we have seen, we can find out here also. So what is mean by offering? Offerings are nothing but a domains which we wanted to implement for our client. which we wanted to implement for our client over here. It is client over here. Okay, so that we can find just informational purpose. This we call it as FSM, where we are going to perform the functional setups. Once we perform some setup, how to test it? For example, we have configured buyer setup, or we have configured the approval setup. We have configured the approvals for our purchase orders. I want to test those approvals are working or not. If we want to test the setups, what we have to do? We have to perform some transactions. We have to perform some transactions so that we will come to know whether those setups are working or not. Let's say we have configured customer discount list. After configuring the customer discount list, we want to verify the discount will be calculated as per our setup or not. So what we have to do? We have to create couple of customers, attach our discount list to the customers, and create couple of sales orders for our customers. Then choose the item names and quantity, the price. Then we'll come to know the discount is going to be avail or not for the customer as per our requirement. Then we are going to use. Go to Navigator. Here we are going to perform all our transactions. The Navigator, we are going to perform all our transactions here. Here we will be performing inventory transactions, receivable transactions, and order management transactions, pricing and global order assets. We'll find all those things here. It is. Okay. So whenever we are working with our Fusion applications, as I said, there will be two menus. One is user menu to perform the setups and maintaining of the setups. Another one is navigator menu to perform all our transactions. To perform all our transactions over here it is. Okay. So let me take in a simple exercise here how we can go for perform that and how the application will work. So that the same work we will be doing when we are working in the project also. Now client is asking me a simple assignment. Let's hire employee. For this employee, configure user account. And for this user, provide the access to create purchase orders. And then provide the data access for US1 business unit. Nothing but your employee should create purchase orders only for this particular business unit and then go for approvals. Then go for approvals. And find this information in the database tables. Generally, database tables are required for technical consulting, but still it's not that much complex. If we spend some additional time, we can easily learn. That is an assignment. So once you join in the project or regularly we'll be doing this type of work here. This assignment I am going to perform here today so that you will come to know how we have to do that. Okay, so these all are the things we are supposed to do. First one, employee hiring. Let's go to FSM environment. First, we have to perform the setup. Employee hiring. So choose, we are doing it for which module? Procurement module. And employee hiring. So go to the task, manage users. That is the task name which we will use to hire an employee and create user account. I'm going to specify employee name as John Cullinan. What is the user account you would like to have? John underscore Cullinan. That's the user account I wanted to have. And he is employee of our company. Choose the employment information as employee. When we are hiring an employee in the Fusion applications, two organizations are mandatory. One is legal employer, another one is business unit. One is legal employer, another one is a business unit. So here legal employer is nothing but a company. Legal employer is nothing but a company. So we are hiring an employee for a particular company, our client. Legal employer is nothing but a company or client. Okay. So client can have either one company or multiple companies. We can configure all the companies in this application. Okay. So choose the legal employer. I'm selecting here US1 legal entity. US1 legal entity. 1 minute, please. We'll choose the business unit, nothing but a branch. So you are going to hire an employee for which business unit and for which employees we are going to have it, which business unit and which legal employer. So here what we have done, we have given employee details here. Here we give an employee details, and this is what user account I would like to have. User account I would like to have. And for this company, I'm hiring this employee. And for this business unit, I'm going to hire an employee. So we specified legal employer and business unit. That's let's go for save and close. So we hired an employee and also we configured the user account. Also we configured user account here. So first assignment as completed. First task, hire assignment, employee here, and then created user account. So if you are a user, then you cannot create a purchase order. You must be a buyer. You must be a buyer here. So we have to go for configure buyer. So next task I'm going to mention configure buyer. So what is buyer? Buyer is nothing but an employee who will buy the goods from the suppliers. Every company will have some departments. Finance department. Who will be there in finance department? Clerk, cashier, finance analyst, finance manager, like that. There will be a sales department. Who will be working in sales department? Sales representative, sales manager, sales specialist, like that. There will be a procurement department who will procure the goods or services from the suppliers. They will be always in touch with the suppliers to manage the procurement data. Okay, so in procurement department, we are going to have the procurement information. We are going to have the buyers. So buyer is nothing but an employee who will buy the goods or service from the suppliers on behalf of company. On behalf of company. So buyers will always trying to find out the best supplier and the best quotation, quality, delivery. This all they are trying to get it from the suppliers. So our employees, once we create, we have to ask our client. If he's a clerk, we have to make him as a clerk. If he's a salesperson, we have to make it as sales representative. If he's a buyer, we have to make it as buyer. Now we are going to configure the buyer setup. It's very simple. From FSM environment, we can perform this. Agent setup. Agent and buyer both are same. Manage procurement agents. Go to this task. So what is your business unit? US1 BU. And what is your employee name? John Cullinan is an employee name. Do you want to go for raise the requisition also? Yes. For this buyer, you want to give the access to create the following documents or not. Agent access. Right now, we want to give the permission for creating the purchase orders. By default, it's enabled. So we don't need to worry about creating the purchase orders through this particular agent. Access to other agents' documents. When buyer log into the applications, obviously whatever the documents he has created, he can access. For example, you logged into the application and then you created purchase orders, requisitions, quotations that you can again access. But do you want to access other agents' documents also? For example, manager is there. Manager wants to access the complete team members' whoever is reporting to him, complete team members' documents he want to access. Then we can give the permission here. View permission, modify, and full. None means no. We don't find any other setup here, right? So right now what we have done, we made our employees a buyer for which business unit? US1 business unit. You can make him as a buyer for multiple business units also. System will allow us to configure, yes, this employee is going to be a buyer for another BU also. Yes, we can do that. Okay, that can be assigned. Save and close. This is how we will perform the buyer setup. We created an employee. For that employee, we created a user account and then we configured the buyer. Whenever we set the user account, we are supposed to set the password also for that user, right? If you know the password, then only you can log into the applications. So what we are going to do is we are going to reset the passwords for the user, right? Okay. Let's go for reset the password. How we have to reset? We have to go to Navigator, Tools menu, Navigator, Tools menu, Security Console. Go to Security Console. Go to Users tab. Already user account has created. Search with this. This is user account. The moment when we choose the user, we can find automatically employee name, excuse me, employee number, business unit, and other information we got here. Right? We got all this information. Now we want to reset the password for this. We have reset the password here. Then go for edit. Excuse me. We want to give the permissions. Here we would like to go for give the permission for purchase orders. Yeah. So right now we have reset the password here. Next, what client is asking? You have to give the access to create the purchase order. And then you have to give the access to create purchase orders only for one branch. We should not create purchase orders for multiple branches. We should give only permission for one particular branch. First, we will give the access to open the page. So if you want to create a POs or any transaction, we have to give the access. That is what we call it as a roles. So this Fusion applications is RBAC application, role-based access control. Role-based access control. Based on the role, user can access the application. Right now, in application, there are number of documents, but client is asking for this employee, just give the access to create purchase orders only. Don't give the access to other documents. For that, we have to find out what is the role name we have to assign. For every module, there will be a 7 to 10 roles will be found. We'll find 7 to 10 roles in the product. Out of 7 to 10 roles, we have to customize according to the requirement. Sometimes we'll go for add those roles directly, and sometimes we'll go for create a new roles if the requirement is completely different. We'll create a new role. Okay. Right now, we are not going to create a new one. We are going to use the standard. In our training, we'll be discussing how to create the role, how to customize the role, how to provide the delegation for the role, how to provide the reassignment for the role, data privileges. We'll all discuss that. Now, we'll just go for add the role, which is required for the purchase orders. For every module, there will be a 7 to 10 standard roles. We have to understand those roles. We have to have fingertips. These roles must be on our fingertips. so that whenever we try to create, when you are attending for an interview or in project, it's important. They'll straight away ask you, I want to create a requisition, which role I have to assign to the employee. I want to allow the employee to create a requisition, not such. You should not go with such option. Like that will allow them to go for it. Then we have to customize the role. Okay. So now we want to create a permission purchase orders. Go to add role. There is a role called procurement manager. Procurement manager. Select this procurement manager. Save and close. I have not given any permission to this. Yeah. Default will go for give the role called employee role. Is one of the employee. Employee role is just specific self information. Employee can access the self information. Here it is. So now what we have done, we have assigned the roles to the user. We have assigned the roles to the user over here it is. Now let's test this whether user has got permission or not here. Log out from the current user and log in here. Now John Cullinan has connected to the application here. Once he connect to the application here, then go to navigator here. Procurement permission we have given. He can create purchase orders. Click on purchase orders page. Create purchase order. So system is giving the access to create purchase orders here because we given the role. We have assigned the role to the user and he is able to provide the purchase order here. John Cullinan, that's the username, right? We have generated. Yes. And we have also given the permission for employee role. He can access personal information. This is employee role. So in Fusion applications, complete access will be done through the roles. Based on the role only, user can go for access to application here. User can access the application here. We must be very strong creating the roles, customizing the roles. And we have to remember what are the standard roles available. These are the details we have provided here. Okay. Now we are going to create a purchase order. So we need to give the access to the particular business unit. We will go for provide data access. Now we have given the role access. Data access for a particular business unit. So if we have the access to the role, what user can perform? User can log in and he can open the pages. He can open the pages. But if you want to give the permission to create orders, Then we have to provide the data access, log into the applications. We have to do that setup, right? So go to setup and maintenance. Go to procurement, data access, data access for users. First, we have to choose the username for which user you want to give the permission. John Cullinan, right? What is the role name? Procurement manager. What is the business unit? For which business unit you wanted to give the permission? Then go for this and choose your BU. We are going to select the business unit. Once we provide the data access, we must run one program to synchronize this information. To synchronize this information, we have to run one program. Okay, let's go to this initial users tab. Run this program. We call it as LDAP process, lightweight directory access protocol. So what this program will do is it is going to synchronize the complete information, whatever we have associated here. Submit. Sometimes we'll get this error message. One or more requests are currently pending for definition. It means someone has submitted this. Someone has submitted this. So if somebody has submitted, it's not a problem. That will go for issue the commit for our user also. So we don't need to worry about here. We have to just go ahead with this process. Say cancel it. Just log out and log in with your user. Now go to navigator. We can go to the navigator, whatever the functionalities we are getting here, the same functionalities will get it here also. The same functionality will get it here. So go to procurement, we can also get it here. Go to purchase orders. Let me create purchase order. Select who is the supplier, for which supplier you are going to give the order. Choose the supplier name, supplier site, and contact person. Here it is. And click create. Now this is the purchase order document. We'll enter the information at header level, lines, shipments, and distributions. As a functional consultant, we are supposed to configure the information here, like what items needs to be populated. Well, those all we'll be discussing later. Right now, we just want to create a purchase order. We enter the information at header level. Let's go for enter the data in line level. We are going to specify the information in lines here. And I'm going to choose the item name. Five items, price $12. I'm specifying, and then go for save this purchase order. So this is how the purchase orders will be created from the front end. So how the supplier name needs to be populated, we can find buyer name. So we'll come to know how to configure our own supplier's billing location. These all are our functional consultant job. As a functional consultant, we have to interact with the clients, gather the requirement, and we need to configure those. For example, freight terms, nothing but a transport charges. Payment terms, we are supposed to configure. Shipping methods, FOB, free on board. When we are working with items, okay, where do you configure items? How will you make this item as a procurement item? When the moment when we choose the item, we are getting the categories. So how to configure item categories, item catalogs, and how to set up the default price for this item. So this is all we are going to get it. That is our functional job. We'll be discussing that in our training detail. Right now, just created one transaction, right? This is the purchase order number. So we have seen how we can go for set this and how it will be sent for the approvals. There is an option here. Go for submit for approvals. May take some time to get approvals here. Approval management is a separate concept. We'll be discussing about that, how to configure management hierarchy approvals, how to configure the other options. This all will be discussing. Now we are getting error message. You must enter either requested date or promised date for planned items. Go to schedules tab here. Here we are supposed to enter when the supplier is going to give the delivery, promised delivery date, and when we required goods requested delivery date. Here we are going to specify. Now save this purchase order. And then go for submit. Now the order has been created and submitted for approvals. Submitted for approvals. Now we are going to take this PO number and how to search whether the PO has been approved or not. Go to manage orders. This is to create purchase order and this is to manage the orders. Go to manage orders here. Give the order number. Click search button. Now it's pending approval. Maybe it takes some time to get approvals from the user. Okay. So now we are going for next finding the table names for this. Go to navigator, tools menu. There is an option called reports and analytics. Go to create report. Let's say cancel this. It's taking some time. Yeah, cancel this. Now we are going to create a data model. Let's go for create data model. Means we can write SQL query. You don't have the privilege to create a data model because you are not an implementation consultant. What system is telling? You don't have the permission. How to get the permission? We have to assign the roles. We have to assign the roles. Just now we have added the roles, right? Just now we have added the roles. Same way we have to add another role called implementation consultant role. Okay. Go to security console. Log in as an admin because admin will give the permission to add the roles to the user. Tools menu. Go to security console. Search for the username. Edit. Let me give the access to the role. Application. Implementation consultant role. We given the permission to the user. Now user is going to log in, employee is going to log in. Tools menu, security console, sorry, reports and analytics. Create and reports. Generally, technical consultants will start building the reports, writing the complex queries, but as a functional consultant also, we must have some basic idea how to write a simple query and fetch the data from database. Because when we are doing data migration, let's say we are trying to load some 50,000 suppliers data. So data migration is a functional job in the cloud environment. It's not a coding. There is a standard procedure we have to follow. We load the data into the application. Once we load, there might be some rows which will be successfully loaded. Some rows will not be loaded successfully. So we have to find what are those errors. And what are those errors we have to find out. That's what we are trying to find out. So as a functional, we cannot ask every time technical guy, can you please check the errors in the table and all, right? We must have an idea how to do navigate. I try to create a data model. Still you don't have. So let's go for add another role, IT security manager. Okay, security manager we have not added. We added just application implement. So there are two implementation roles. One is IT security manager, another one is application implementation consultant. We added application implementation consultant. Now we are going to add IT security manager. Just go to environment here. It's got delayed. Keep it slow. So what is our PO number? This is our purchase order number, right? We created. Just trying to get data created. Same system got a little bit slow. Now it is allowing us to go for create a query. Go to SQL query. Just we are selecting some finance and supply. Select start from PO headers all where segment 1 equal to this. Give the purchase order. Go to data. As this is a demo session, I'm just going. When we are going for training, we'll go for one by one. Another. This is our purchase order information, and PO number has been created successfully in this. So we don't need to worry about the in-depth of other options here. We'll just have an idea. This is our buyer ID, agent ID, and then we want to know this is our purchase order type, which user has created. This is our PO number, right? This all details we can find here. Okay. And this is our buyer ID. Buyer ID is nothing but an employee ID. We can find the employee details here. So John Cullen. So why there are two records here? There will be one is global name, another one is a local. So global we have to specify here. So this is, it comes actually human capital management, SCM table here. And this is our person ID, agent ID, buyer ID, all are here. Name type. Default will take up as global. We have to write that query. Seeing right parentheses. Okay. Already we have written where clause. We are just adding another condition. Press OK. This is how it will work here. To review the records. Right. So this is how we can find the buyer ID, agent ID, both all are same. Okay. So we don't need to worry about the in-depth of technical as a functional consultant. Just have an idea. I'll be providing the training on that also. How to find table names, how to write simple queries, and all will be discussing. Okay. So this is about the assignment, simple assignment where we will be covering. So we'll have a detailed information about the employees, about the users, and about the buyer setups and document types, differences between the document types. There are three different types of purchase orders: standard, planned, and planned we don't have. I'm sorry. Planned we were there in EBS, but here we don't have. Only three: standard purchase order, blanket purchase agreement, contract purchase agreement. Right now, what we have created is a standard purchase order, and BP and CPA both are agreements that we will be discussing about the agreements when we are talking about the procurement contracts and all it is. Okay. Thank you.